People are really angry, they feel ripped off.
Every day you turn on the TV, it's the postman, it's the rail workers, it's everybody.
People can't take it anymore, and there is a movement in this country, as you say, growing strength every day.
So yeah, we are fighting for our lives, to be honest.
And we are saying enough is enough.
And again, that legislation prevents us all from taking action.
I don't think people can believe it's come to this, actually.
So you asked about the economic situation in the UK, and it's pretty terrible for workers right now. You know, we've had 12 years of a Conservative government who've done, nothing to boost growth in the economy and quite a lot to hold down workers' wages.
The pay has been suppressed for 10 years, so they've been below inflation all that time. And you might argue that inflation wasn't such a problem. But now inflation is really taking off like an aeroplane. People are saying, well, how am I going to feed my kids? Traditionally, or usually, people that were in poverty conditions were the unemployed, but now we're seeing many people that have got full-time jobs and having to go to food banks. I don't know if they have those in Belgium, but the food bank is a phenomenon that's developed during that 10-year period.
So we've got vegetables here. There's not much left. It is much more known. People will know there's a food bank they can go to, whereas before it was a real kind of hidden away, exceptional circumstance.
When we started, we probably did 2 or 3 families a week. Okay. And now we're doing 115. This week we'll do about 115 households this week. But basically even people with jobs now are coming to use this food bank.
So sort of working full time, 3 to 4 days a week, 12-hour shifts, but still really struggling to afford to live even though working, so I think that's my situation, coming to a food bank.
I liken it to an iceberg. You can see the people, the homeless above the water, but actually there's a bigger number of people below the water that need help, and that's very true now in this country.
I think it's terrible. I think a lot of people are going to suffer massively. People are going to lose houses, mortgages.
I'm okay, I'm comfortable, I can afford to pay my bills. But even every day I still wake up having to account everything and fix everything.
I'm okay as it stands, but will it be okay next year in 2023? I don't know.
I literally only just get by enough help,
Yeah, I think everyone's anxious for the future. So.
I've been a trade union activist and official now for 30 years, and I've never seen so many workers across so many different sectors of the economy being prepared to stand up, to take industrial action, to fight for decent pay, to fight for their jobs and to fight for their rights. So this has the potential to be a really important moment for British trade unions and potentially sort of beyond as well. So this is the first national railway strike we've had in the UK for decades, and a group of 40,000 railway workers in the RMT union have voted for industrial action. Those railway workers took everybody by surprise. They beat the industrial action thresholds. The government made it deliberately hard for them to beat those thresholds, but they beat them. And they've been out now for strike action, as I say, in pursuit of a decent pay rise, trying to stop those compulsory job cuts and to really fight for the future of their industry.
What actually happened is when the rest of the British people heard our message, how frustrated we were, a lot of people went, yeah, that's happening to me. I haven't had a pay rise for a long time. I'm really struggling. My employer seems to be making plenty of money. And if you work in an Amazon warehouse where they're making billions of pounds, it's really resonating. People are really connecting with our message.
And it doesn't matter whether you're a midwife or you're a postal worker or a docker or a railway worker, people saying now's the time to make a stand. And I think the other thing that happens is that people see workers taking strike action, standing up for their rights, and they see them winning.
We saw all the dust. We had all the dust carts come through, okay, and that was in solidarity for us. Somebody must have put it on their radio, say they're out, and they all come through.
This employer has met an unstoppable force.
And we are going to change this country for the better. We are going to win on the railway. We're going to win on the post office. We're going to win at BT, and we're going to win for our people. And we're going to change this country for the better.
I'm looking at a Christmas where I can't afford to buy presents for my son for his second ever Christmas. It's not a situation that anybody should be forced into in the 21st century in one of the richest nations on earth.
So we have noticed massive amounts of people struggling. They come to me on a daily basis to the fact that they can't afford to eat, put food on the table for their children. So it is massive at the moment in England.
We are one in a chain of dominoes. If we win, that is a bellwether for the rest of the workers' movement. It's a building of strength. Every victory brings further victories.
Nobody wants to go on strike, but what choice now is there left? We are up against very, very tight legislation though, very strict legislation. I mean, there are impediments.
We have to get over 50% and it has to be within one area and all this kind of stuff. Those laws are really debilitating.
For example, we are not allowed to ballot electronically. An electronic ballot would be a simpler matter, wouldn't it?
If you put that example against the ballot from the members to vote Liz Truss in as a Prime Minister, that was done online and that's okay, but we have to do a postal ballot.
It's not a light matter, it really is not a light matter, and we're not going into this, we're not entertaining this idea lightly.
We had a night together all round a huge big table, we had pizzas and all of that kind of stuff, and it was brought everybody's mood up, but we're working hard to work within those laws. But that is what the country is calling for. Well, that's what the workers are calling for. And we've got a lot of support from the public at the moment.
This cannot continue. Britain deserves better. Britain cannot afford the chaos of the Conservatives anymore. We need a general election now.
You might be a caretaker, you might be working in public transport, you might be working in sanitation, all these jobs that are not properly rewarded really. You don't have any control on the market, so what we need to do, in my opinion, is get all of the unions, whether they're moderate unions or left-wing unions or radical unions, together so that they can allow workers to respond to that.
No one takes strike action lightly, but when you do take strike action, you want to make sure it works and that you win, and that's what we're committed to making sure our unions do.